All right. So, hello everyone. Here is the recap video that I was talking about earlier this week. First of all, I am finally fed, and the calorie deficit that I went on to make sure that I was hitting my weight for Saturday was pretty gnarly. I have to admit I didn't actually track my calories, so I just kind of essentially snacked a little bit less. So I hit my weight, which was good, but I just kind of wanted to touch on a few different things for the competition that I was thinking about as the meet came closer. So for those of you guys that didn't know, I have been competing in sanctioned meets, essentially where you have an official judge and everything is like rated and judged in a legit manner. So you can actually look into, like, you could look up my record with USA Powerlifting and see how I do essentially amongst all the athletes that they have. And so I placed 6th overall out of the, I want to say it was 51 or 52 athletes in the second wave, so with the heavier weights essentially. And the meet overall went super well, I have to say. So the whole order that how it was flowing and how the pace was and all that stuff. So we started sharp at 2, and then we were done by 6, which for powerlifting, within 4 hours, that's a pretty good time frame, pretty good window, and they were already starting to take things down. So the awards ceremony was pretty quick in the end, but again, there were a lot of athletes, overall 105, 110 I think, throughout the entire day. So big meet, small gym, but the staff was awesome about it. This was my second sanctioned meet. I have done 4. The last 2 were basically fundraisers that I was doing, and it's just an amazing experience. Like, powerlifting is definitely one of those unique sports where you train for 12 or 16 weeks, and then it all comes down to essentially like 30 seconds to a minute of performing that one lift. And so there's a lot of practice and training that goes into that, but I think that also shows how amazing our bodies are in terms of like how much you can actually lift, and safely without injuring yourself. So it's really, when it comes down to it, you can train all day long and, eat, sleep, like be on a really good schedule with stuff, and then still not have a good meet potentially. And so it's just a really great environment. And, I'm obviously no expert in this. Well, I guess I do this for a living, not powerlifting, but like I'm a personal trainer. So anyway, I'm confident in what I do essentially, even that I write my own programs, and it's been working pretty well. So the total lift was, I think I hit 700 kilos, which is I think 1,545 pounds if I remember correctly, which essentially puts you guys have seen the stats. So my squat PR'd and my deadlift did, and my bench actually stayed the same because I was doing the math wrong. Lauren was telling me the other day that 170 kilos is actually 385, so that makes sense why I ended up actually hitting a meet PR for myself, because bench was the same and not 10 pounds less like I thought it was. Anyway, the only things I want to say is essentially it went really well. I'm happy with myself, especially once I figured out the math mistake, and so I did bench more than I thought I did. And definitely will be taking the summer off. I want to dedicate more time to creating some good content and videos. I've just been meaning to do that, but when you train for 90 minutes to 2 hours every day, it just becomes a lot, and making sure that you eat and sleep. So there's a lot of things that have to happen outside of the gym as well in order for me to hit big weights and to not get injured. And so there's just a lot to balance, plus work. So another component I wanted to touch on real quick is the whole thing with eating. I was talking smack about myself quite a bit during the time because I do like to eat a lot, and I'm gonna say it's usually pretty healthy. I love to cook at home, and when we have friends and family over, I like to make food for everybody there instead of going out personally. However, the concept when people hire a trainer is most of the time for weight loss. A lot of people are overweight or obese, or basically just want to trim things up a little bit. And so the thing is, when we don't eat, you just feel like shit. And I know I'm probably a bit of an exaggeration with how much I eat and how often I can eat. I know everyone is different with that, but conceptually speaking, I was thinking, if I would not have any idea about training or how I essentially lose weight, and all I knew is, okay, if I eat less, I don't have as many calories, so I'm gonna lose weight. That is the assumption. That's correct. That's right. Calorie deficit. However, the feel of being hungry around the clock and knowing that I shouldn't be snacking on this and that because that might bump my weight up a little bit, or not to have too much sodium, so I don't hold too much water. God, that's miserable. I mean, if I was thinking about, hopping on a, in quote, diet and doing this for a few months, weeks or months, and then I would hit whatever my goal weight is. So in my case, I had to be 242.5 pounds or 110 kilos. But if I would say I want to cut down to 100, let's say like 220 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds. Like, no, there's no way that would be like, once I hit that number, maybe like great, but that's not no way to live life. And so my thought with that was essentially, it reiterated my passion for why I love resistance training so much, because obviously I'm not, well, technically on the shits. By the book, I'm grade 1 obese. I think my BMI is at about 30 right now. I know that doesn't really matter because I'm not actually, I don't have too much body fat on me. I think a healthy amount. The point is, the concept of eating less and doing more eventually will burn you out big time. And so this is why I'm such a huge believer and enthusiast about, not that cardio is bad. Okay, cardio is not bad for you, but if that is the first or dominant way that you exercise, eventually you burn out with that. Like, you have to do more and more and more because your body gets adjusted to it. And so I just think there's so many more modalities with weight training and, building up your metabolism and essentially like doing as little work as you can, but slowly ramping up your muscle mass, which requires a lot more energy to be fueled. Hence, you have to eat more. Don't eat shit, but eat good food so you can eat more. And that just reiterated that. And so my energy has gotten so much better, and I've been, not as cranky. But that was probably the biggest experience with me, where I'm like, I'm not gonna cut back down to that weight class. I'm probably gonna go up in weight classes. Is that a smart thing to do? I don't know. We'll see. But I know that when I really eat a sufficient amount of food and train well, especially when I train more, like I can, I have a decent size on me for weight, and I feel very comfortable at that higher weight. And so I just wanted to share that thought with you guys, basically, that I haven't been in a deficit in God knows how long, at least not a purposeful one. So I made a conscious effort to not eat too much over the past 2 weeks to make weight. And yeah, it was a miserable experience, really. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it did suck, because the night before I had the meet, I was eating fucking salad, and my family was eating pizza. So yeah, that was discipline right there. But I'm incredibly grateful for everybody that came out. So thank you guys so much again for all the pictures. I will have scattered a bunch of the stuff throughout the video here, obviously. But this was a recap. So overall it went well. Like I said, I'm going to take the summer off from competing. I just want to focus on different things. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop working out, but I'm just not going to shoot forward to hit any PRs. Just want to feel good at the gym, have a good time, help out people, and again, build the video content out a little bit better and have better strategy about this. So yeah, that's what that is all about. And yeah, if you have any questions about weightlifting, let me know. Love to help out, and we'll see you guys later.